me ask you a question that has divided this industry for decades. Are open houses actually worth it? Now, if you're looking for a simple yes or no, you're asking the wrong question, because the truth is this. It depends entirely on your definition of worth it. Here's the great misunderstanding. Most agents evaluate an open house by one metric. Did the house sell because of it? And when the answer is rarely, they dismiss the entire strategy. But that's like judging a gym membership on whether you lost 20 pounds after one workout. You've misunderstood the function. Here's what open houses are not. Let's be clear. Open houses are not primarily for selling the house. Do they sometimes sell the house? Yes. Is that the primary value? No. Here's the stat on open house conversions. For agents, the conversion rate of a random visitor becoming the buyer of that specific home, it's roughly 2.5% or 1 in 40. If your entire strategy is I'm going to sit in this house and hope the buyer walks in, then you're not hosting an open house. You're hosting a pity party. What open houses really are. Open houses are a lead generation machine that doubles as a service. They're one of the few activities in this business where you are stationary, prospects come to you, and you get face-to-face interaction at scale. Let me translate that into business language. That's leverage. Now, about the real ROI. See, most agents calculate ROI as return on investment, but the best agents understand a deeper metric for open houses, return on interaction. Every person who walks through that door is potentially a conversation, a data point, a relationship opportunity. And in a relationship-driven business, that's where the money lives. Let's break down the real value. First, for you as the agent. Face-to-face at scale. In a world drowning in emails, text, and DMs, and now automated bots, you get something rare. Eye contact, tone, presence, trust. People don't hire the most informed agent, they hire the one they feel most certain about. And certainty is built faster in person than anywhere else. 2, you build your pipeline without chasing. Cold calling, you interrupt people. Door knocking, you surprise people. Open house, they walk into your world voluntarily. That changes the psychology completely. They're more open, more curious, more willing to talk. Oh, you may have to be the first to ask a question, but they'll talk. Number 3, content creation engine. Every open house gives you social media posts, stories, behind-the-scene content, market insights. Instead of wondering what should I post, you now have a built-in content factory. More content equals being more consistent, and consistency builds familiarity, and familiarity builds trust. Number 4, marketing the listing beyond the listing. Here's what many agents miss. When you advertise an open house, you're not just marketing the property, you're marketing yourself to neighbors, future sellers, curious buyers. Every sign in the neighborhood says this agent is active, and activity creates credibility. So, the open house can be good for the agent, but is it good for the seller? Well, here's a stat you might not know. Homes with open houses tend to see a 21% drop in days on the market. Now, why would that be? Here's a few reasons. In a word, exposure. When else are you going to have websites like Zillow, Homes.com, and others putting your listing in a special category, upcoming open houses, which increases views by 30 to 50%. Some sites even push open houses to the top of daily search results. When else are you going to have that many arrow signs alerting everyone going near that neighborhood that there's a home for sale in there? When else are you going to have social media posts and ads that are as relevant, time-sensitive, and create as much FOMO, fear of missing out? Reason number 2, creating urgency without saying a word. When buyers see open house this Sunday, something happens psychologically. They think, other people are going to be there. I should probably go look. I might lose this if I wait. You didn't push them, you simply created the conditions for urgency. Number 3, condensed feedback loop. And this one is so overlooked. Most listings get feedback slowly. One showing here, one showing there. But an open house compresses time. In 2 hours, you might hear the price feels high, the layout is awkward, the backyard is a problem. Now you're not guessing, you're adjusting with real-time market intelligence. I tell sellers directly during the listing presentation that statistically less than 3% of homes sell at the open house. This, by the way, helps set sets expectations so they don't call me at 4:30 on Sunday and say, "Did it sell?" Well, they still do that, but I have at least set the expectation for the answer to not be yes. And then in that listing presentation, I say, many agents that you talk to will use this 3% stat as an excuse not to do open houses. However, I've personally had a lot of homes sell the week leading up to and the week immediately following the open house. Before the open house, because of the increased exposure and the fact that potential buyers don't know that 3% stat, and it creates urgency. They see there's going to be other people through there on Sunday, and if they're interested in the home, when they look at it with their realtor on Thursday, they feel like they better get their offer in sooner. And then after, because sometimes they came through the open house on Sunday and it was like their first informational showing. Some call back and some come back with their agent a few days later for their second decision-making showing. But mostly I like open houses, John and Sue, because I can get more feedback in 2 hours than I can in 2 weeks of showings. And if we need to tweak something, we can do it sooner rather than later. And then if another agent comes in after me to do a listing presentation with John and Sue and says, "I don't do open houses, they don't work," they just look lazy or uninformed. Here's the truth. The large percentage of buyers you meet at an open house will not buy that house. And that's exactly why it's valuable. Wait, what? That's right. That's exactly why it's valuable. Because those buyers need an agent. And guess who they met? You. Now, did they go to 3 open houses that afternoon and meet 2 other agents? Maybe. But I'll take the odds of 1 in 3 over 1 in 3,000, or however many agents are in your market, any day. So the question is no longer, will this open house sell this home? The real question becomes, how many relationships can I create in 2 hours? Because one relationship can turn into a buyer, a seller, a referral, or all 3 over time. Now, here's where a lot of people fall short. They host the open house, but they don't capture information, follow up, continue the conversation. And then they say, open houses don't work. No, your system didn't work. If you're going to do open houses, do them like a professional. Promote them like an event. Host them like a consultant. Follow up like your business depends on it, because it does. Here's a simple framework. Think of every open houses in 3 phases. Before, to drive attention. During, to build connection. After, to create continuation. Miss any one of those and you cut the value in half. So let me repeat those. Before, drive attention. During, build connection. After, create continuation. I'll leave you with this. In this business, if you don't get paid for activity, you get paid for relationships. And the fastest way to build relationships is to put yourself in front of people consistently. Open houses are not magic. They are not instant, but they are reliable. And in a business filled with uncertainty, reliability is worth a great deal. So, are open houses worth it? Well, if you expect them to sell the house, maybe not. But if you use them to build a pipeline, to create trust, to multiply your opportunities, to get valuable feedback, to manufacture urgency, then the answer is not just yes, it's emphatically absolutely. My name is Wes Gilley, and the primary goal at this phase of my life is to share my experience from nearly 25 years of real estate with you, so you can simplify your real estate success and make rapid improvements. So if you want to have more real estate conversations based on truth and not hype, subscribe below.